Rams reported that he clashed with leadership and was vocal, and he held management and coaches and players accountable. And Ty Lue and him kind of clashed heads is what the report is saying.
Told you.
The same reason they got rid of Chris Paul is the same reason they're getting rid of Chris Paul. If we remember the end of that, I don't know if y'all remember the end of the debacle when they was just get rid of him, Blake. You remember this? When him and Ballmer wouldn't even look at each other or some other shit, and then Blake ran off the court or some other shit or whatever the fuck. Y'all remember why he left? Players was disgruntled about him and not being able to coach him. And him, you know, Chris Paul is so smart and so good of a player, but the knock on him was that he was uncoachable. He was a know-it-all. You know, he didn't mess with everybody else. I think when you said you went back to the Clippers, you said that didn't even look like what it looked like.
Well, I wouldn't say he's uncoachable. I think that, you know, sometimes his leadership style kind of rubbed other players the wrong way, you know, and, you know, he, like, had a strong opinion with the coaching. And, like, I think that a lot of players that's one of the top players do that. Like, I've been in a timeout where Doc could drop a play on Rondo and be like, nah, let's run this. I mean, we respected that because we respected Rondo's knowledge. But when, you know, I think Chris was kind of the same way. But it got put out a different kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was, like, smarter than everybody in the room, and he didn't think he know everything. But, like, I've seen Rondo do that all the time, and we was like, we rolling, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I've never played with Chris Paul. Been in a situation.
I've been
with Chris
there.
Paul.
I saw it firsthand. Like, I just thought,
you like him, P?
I mean, I just think sometimes he rubbed some of his teammates the wrong way.
How so?
In the locker room.
How so?
Just like
conversation, or he's saying something
like,
a certain way.
I don't know, because I was always with all my teams I ever played with. We was kind of like more of a tight knit group. You know what I'm saying? You know how we used to go to dinner and we on the bus shooting dice or playing cards together. You know, it never was like I didn't see that interaction with the other guys and him. You know what I'm saying? It was like I remember the first road trip where, you know, you had individual guys sitting at their own tables at breakfast. You go to breakfast and then you watch film and then you go to shoot around. It was like a guy at this table, these two guys congregating, you know, CP by himself. And then I remember on the road, we went to dinner. I said, let's go to dinner, dog. And so I had Saturday, went to dinner with him. And then I remember he threw a charity event. None of the players showed up.
Oh, they wasn't supporting each other.
I don't know, you know, so it is what it is, but.
He can help somebody, bro. I don't think he done. If I'm Houston, I am Houston, I go get him, man. Man, Houston need a point guard, man.
Milwaukee, Minnesota.
Man, all these niggas need point guards, man. All this, listen, man, that shit sound good till it come down to fourth quarter and you got to make some IQ decisions on the ball. Listen, man, quit this narrative of 6 feet, 6'2", 6'3" point guards being out. Motherfuckers is not smart enough to run the games right now. Point guards are built to run the game. He's the second coach other than the coach. He's organizing. When Paul Pierce wants the ball at the elbow, a big, a small forward, a fucking two guard don't know how to get the ball to a motherfucker like a nigga like that unless he the point guard. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think we starting to, like, this whole point guard thing, and the point guard is very important. First off, I don't get no fuck. And I don't think everybody can just grab the point guard position and start playing it. I just don't. It takes a lot of IQ, a lot of smart, it's a lot of intelligence in that shit. And then you got to feel the game. Sometimes you pushing it. Sometimes you got to slow it down. You know what I'm saying, Lord? Like, man, I heard this, man. Like the 6'2", 6 whatever it is, man. He can still help somebody, man. But he ain't just finished.
But the point guard position has dramatically changed. You know, from the Chris Paul style of point guard. He's older. He doesn't have the same step. He's a pick and roll point guard who can get you in the offense. And
he should be perfect today. That's
I know,
all today's
but like if he's not
going one-on-one no more.
If you're not an offensive threat at the point guard, like a super offensive threat, like when you look around the league, the point guards, I'm not even gonna say the all-stars, but like just the other day, Peyton Pritchard gave somebody 40.
42. I saw that. Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we looking at guys that, like, you got to be able to get money at the point guard. You got to be a major threat at all times at the top. That's the point guard position today. Think about our top point guards: Shea, Brunson, Maxey. You got to go downhill. If you're not able to get downhill and take advantage of the switches at the point guard, then you're a liability. That's what the game is
the reason
today.
why he's not playing is because you think he just had a liability now?
Yeah, I think he's more of a liability because of his inability to get money like he used to and defensively.
Chris Paul can't
But
play
in your
today's
locker
game.
room, I think in your
ludicrous.
timeouts, in your locker room, and his IQ, he can help.
Man, listen, you know, when I'm watching the games, you know, I don't watch the game. I may watch the bench. No bullshit, because you know what I pay attention to?
You're not watching the games, Lord.
So you know what
You're
I'm
not
paying
watching the
attention
games,
to?
Lord.
I'm paying attention if niggas is dapping. I'm watching if they celebrating, if somebody makes the score, if they even reacting on the bench. Lord, when the timeouts came, he may still be on the bench at the end of the timeout. I started to see. I just started. Man, day one, I started to see he was disengaged, and it didn't look like what I hoped it to be like. They got Brooke over there. They got Chris Paul over there. They got some veterans that, yeah, they're a little older, but they can. Their knowledge and their help. I was like, ooh, I'm looking forward to the Clippers.
Beal got hurt for the entire year, and then Lopez is not even in the rotation right now.
That's what I'm saying. They had all this.
They're struggling.
Man, and yeah, I started to see it early, so I didn't know. And then when I didn't see him in the huddle, you know, when guys come to the thing, come out the game, and you see them interacting, hey, this is what I see. It wasn't none of that. So I don't know what's going on in the Clippers, man. I think actually, man, shout out to Chris Paul, man. I don't think he's done. I hope he goes to another team and help somebody, man.
But
I don't want him to.
You know it's bad for the Clippers when a fan of over 19 years, with everything this franchise has been through, finally walks away. They survived the Donald Sterling situation, Blake Griffin being traded after him and the organization both agreed he'd retire a Clipper, all those years with Ricky Davis and Cuttino Mobley, and the CP3 situation was the straw that broke the camel's back. It is so bad for the Clippers right now that after this fan posted it on social media, even Blake Griffin commented to sympathize with him. The Clippers did their two most important players in his history completely dirty. First, they re-signed Blake Griffin when they both agreed he would retire a Clipper. Then they went and traded him to the Detroit Pistons. The way they dropped Chris Paul in Atlanta in the middle of the season after announcing his retirement tour, so many DNPs, did him dirty. He let us know what it is from his perspective as a fan of over 19 years is wrong with the Clippers. And those two people are Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer, which ironically enough with the new stadium, you would have thought Steve Ballmer would get more credit, but obviously not. With the way that they've done with Kawhi Leonard with all the scandals, what this fan's saying all points back to the Paul George trade. All that it is that they gave up for Paul George. For him to not even be on the roster, Kawhi Leonard has $60 million and doesn't even play, and is now handicapped the Clippers and has held them hostage. Meanwhile, guys like DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and CP3 who wanted to be with the Clippers are the ones who got done dirty. Chris Paul is arguably the greatest Clipper ever. I'll take that back. He is the greatest Clipper ever for what he did for this organization to revitalize them, to lead into this new generation that Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer, according to this fan, destroyed, which is why it's so hard to accept what it is that they did to Chris Paul.
We are finally getting the now you tell us about Chris Paul, as Chris Paul reportedly told Kawhi Leonard to switch off of Klay Thompson because Kawhi was struggling to keep up. This is nasty. Then Jeff Van Gundy told Chris Paul, you might have had leeway in other places to change up defensive coverages, but you don't have that leeway here. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden reportedly grew sick and tired of Chris Paul, which obviously, if your two franchise cornerstones don't really like a guy and the coaching staff doesn't really like a guy, he's not going to have the best time there. And at the same time we get that report, the Clippers could look at moving Kawhi Leonard and James Harden sooner rather than later. It's indicated that the Clips have plans to shift their cap space timeline to 2027 to 2026 and hope to improve in this offseason, becoming competitive next season. And whilst all this is happening, a 19-year-old Clippers fan and former ball boy Jimmy Reynolds has denounced his fandom after the franchise sent CP3 home. Clippers legend Blake Griffin commented, "Go find your peace, king." This is the funniest story I've seen in a while.